training, from working, from toiling, from preparation, getting yourself ready for the fight, man.
Right.
You're not gonna come into the fight fresh, right?
Right.
That's why you got to know how to play injured.
Right.
You got to know how to stay in the game with things that are happening to you, you know, mentally, spiritually, and physically.
You gotta have endurance.
You understand?
And the greatest example of that is Jacob when his thigh was out of joint.
Yep. Can fight.
That's how he posted the script.
Can
You
fight.
know
Went into warrior mode.
It was basically he fought injured. He fought for the blessing, and you can take that thigh out of joint and apply it to something that's going on in your life, a thorn you got.
Right. Don't give up.
Because that puts you at a disadvantage to go forward. To push, you need your.
I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors and salutations to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom to you, Akim, you Akwath. Also, you children that believe on this word. This your brother Kalakar of GMS Northwest. Coming back at you with another video. And you saw in the beginning, this walk, this truth. You got to be considerate of the things that come along in this truth. You know, this is not an easy walk. It is an easy walk, but it's not an easy walk. You know, you're supposed to have ups and downs. You're supposed to go through things to make you a better, your spirit, refining your spirit. Like the Lord says is, put the gold through the fire. Here, let me get that real quick. The second, or Salaki, I think it's, what is it? Ecclesiasticus, the second chapter. Starting at the top, it says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thyself for temptation." So in this walk, in this faith, you got to be considerate of the things that come your way, whether it be for the good or for the bad, or, just to test your spirit. And throughout this walk, no matter how long you've been in it, the Lord is going to send these temptations, going to send doubts, he's going to send spirits your way, Satan's going to, try to, get you to lead the truth, pretty much, or that deep demon gets on you where you searching out everything and you reading everything and trying to, you're trying to do too much when this thing is about being balanced, being balanced in the spirit, and walking the best walk you can walk in this thing. But like I said, it's when you come to serve the Lord, prepare your mind for temptation. Now, I had the definition of considerate. It says marked by deliberation, from Latin consideratus, pass, to look at closely, observe, of person, deliberate, prudent, give to consideration, meaning not unfeeling or rigorous, showing consideration for the circumstances or feelings of others. And in this walk, you gotta, consider that who's the evil. You gotta consider who's the wicked, who's the righteous. These are things that this spiritual power is discernment. Having, discerning, being able to discern between, what's good for you and what's not. And like I said, in this truth, in this walk, you go through that ups and downs, but the whole point of the matter is you're counting the cost. You win the ups and downs of this ministry and what comes with it. We're prepared to, hey, let me go back to, because this thing is about suffering. Suffering is patience. You having patience, waiting on that promise. We are waiting for things to pop off. We're waiting for the kingdom of heaven. So you got to be considerate of the times that we're in. You got to be considerate of the things that we see on a daily basis. The things that we go through, i.e. like these scoffers and mockers that's in the truth that's growing at a alarming rate. You know, the persecution that's coming down, the blame, the finger pointing. You know, you guys on the corner, you making all of this come to pass, making this happen. So we got to blame you for it. You know, we got to be considerate of being a martyr in his truth. You know, getting beheaded for the testimony of Yahweh Shah. These are all things you have to consider in this walk, in this faith, to endure until the end, because the Lord will send you, you know, or should I say Satan will send you, or Satan will try to mess with you and get you all, you know, out of whack. But the spirit, if you have the spirit of the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, you can endure, you can overcome. So consider that. Verse 2, Ecclesiastes 2, or Sirach 2 and 2, it says, set thy heart aright and constantly endure and make not haste in the time of trouble. So you got to constantly endure. You got to make, you know, set your heart aright. You know, the Lord will make you go through things to see how you're going to end up on the other side, to see how are you going to trust in him? Are you going to continue to follow out the path? You know, with all this distraction that's going on in the world, you know, and it's getting even more with the AI, with the whole presidency thing, and Elon Musk, you know, with the weather, you know, with the economy, with just everyday with people, man. It's a lot of distractions to get you off path, but if you have the spirit of the Lord, you will continue to walk in that way, you know, the best that you can, because we're not perfect. You know, we're striving for that perfection, knowing we're in these wicked bodies, you know, these bodies that sold into sin, or wretched men that I am. That's what Apostle Paul said. So we got to consider that, you know, and be in balance, and know when the flesh is trying to take over, the flesh is doing too much, and you got to stay in the spirit. But you can't stay in the spirit, you know. You got to, what am I looking for? That balance, you know. Don't be over righteous, you know. Why destroy yourself, you know? So, like I said, it's keeping that balance in this walk, you know, being spiritual, you know, beat up, but still counting the costs, still going, putting the foot to the pedal, as they say in the road. Verse 3, it says, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. So you got to cleave unto the Lord. You know, put the burden on the Lord. You know, all of us in this walk have a different type of, you know, hell. The brother, you know, our brother in the camp say, every brother has a specific amount of hell that the Lord has designed that brother to walk through. You know, you're not going to have the same lot as somebody else in this thing. You know, we're coming back as our lot as, you know, prophets. The prophets are subject to the prophets. So if you was a prophet in these past lives, you're coming back to do the same thing. You know, whether you're a false prophet or you are bringing out 100% truth, you have a part. You have a job to play in this thing, in this movie, in this Most High's movie. You know, you're just walking in your lot in these days. Verse 4 says, whatsoever is brought upon you, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. Patient, remember, patient means to suffer. So whatever is brought up to you, take cheerfully, you know. Thank the Lord. Hey, the Lord is chastising me. You know, I believe in Job 5. Job 5 and I think 16. Here, let's go to that real quick. Job 5 and verse 17. It says, behold, happy is the man who God correcteth. Therefore despise not thou the chastising of the Almighty. So if you've been corrected in this thing, man, you know, and how would you, you know, you might The flesh might do something wicked or do something that, but your spirit is there to say, you got to get right. You got to do the right thing. You got to dust yourself off. I'm going to read that again. It says, behold, happy is the man whom God correcteth. Therefore despise not the chastisement of the Almighty. For he maketh sore and bindeth up. He woundeth, and his hands make whole. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yet the 7th there shall no evil touch thee. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, in the war from the power of the sword. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. So once society starts to crumble, once, things starts to hit the fan, shit hit the fan, as they say, we're going to be at a good case because we continue to be considerate of what we have with this ministry, this understanding, this truth. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding shall be the stability of thy time. So what's going to keep us stable is just knowledge, is this understanding. No matter what is thrown at us, we stay true to the understanding, this walk, this life, because we want salvation at the end of this thing. You want to be saved. You want to be saved from all of this destruction and famine and death and the sword and all of these troubles that's coming upon the earth. Because right now people will think they're in a good cause. Everything is good. Everything, America is still going. The earth is still turning. We still getting up, going to work. We still going out there to preach. We still doing these things. But there's going to be a day when all of that is going to change. We're waiting on that black swan event. We're waiting on that next pestilence to boom. We're waiting on all of these things that's prophesied in the Bible. We're waiting on it, patiently waiting on it. We're waiting for shit to pop off, and we got to be considerate of the things that's coming and not be too in a rush to say, oh, this is the end, Remember, 2nd Edges 9 says, measure the time diligently in itself. So when you start to see these signs and these tokens and these things in the earth, you got to consider that the Lord is on his way. And we understand that. We know that. It's the people that's on the outside that we try to, reach, the hopeful elect, because the elect is still out there, waiting to hear this word, waiting to wake up to this word. There's prophecy said that they're going to hear that the last minute and then, be sealed. So, like I said, we're getting closer to those days that's coming, Let me go to Job 40. Job 40 and verse 7. It says, gird up thy loins like a man, I will demand it of thee, and declare thou unto me. So gird up your loins like a man. We got to be men in this thing. The Lord is looking for soldiers in this thing, man. The meek, that's lowly in the earth. That's not proud. Yes, we're a little sometimes rough around the edges a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's demanded of the Lord. But at the same time, we got to be harmless as doves, smart as serpents, harmless as doves. That's a balance. A serpent, we know how the serpent gets down. There's 5 levels of learning, right? You got your monkey see, monkey do. You got your parrot that mimics. You got your frog that's stubborn. You got your owl that can see, through the, see in the night, but that spiritual is seeing through people, seeing their spirits. And then you got your dragon serpent, and the dragon serpent on the left-hand side, it's the highest level of knowledge, of learning on the left-hand side. So, a dove won't hurt anybody, or hurt anything, maybe a worm, but That's that balance. And you got to consider that in this walk. You know, I have to be as smart as a serpent, but harmless as a dove. You know, so that's why I say gird up your loins like a man. You know, because a man can be rational. You know, you can't be emotional. Remember, emotional intelligence in this thing. You got to be rational when it comes to doing this work, making, walking in this faith, counting the cost. That's right. Let me get that Luke 17 real quick. Luke, or is it Luke 14? Salakia. Luke 14 and 20, I'm going to start at 25. And there he went, great multitudes with him, and he turned and said unto them, and that he is Yahweh Shah. It says, this is red letter, it says, if any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yet his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. And that the word hate goes into the strongly disagree. You're going to have your family come against you that's going to disagree with what you're talking about. So you're going to have to strongly disagree with them. Also hate his own life. We don't, in this life, we're at the bottom. We're at the very bottom. We get treated like we're nothing, and there's nothing to like about that. There's nothing to love about that. It's 27, it says, whosoever do not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciples, or be my disciple. And bear his cross, that word cross going to burdens. Your burdens, your thorn that's in your side, the burdens that you carry in this life, before coming in this truth, the things that you've learned and built up through this world. It says, for which of you attending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? So building a tower, building this spiritual ark, we're building this. Like, have you not counted the cost of everything? Have you not been considerate of everything that could happen to you in this walk? You can lose everything, you can be killed in this thing, You can not even say the Lord got you all the way until the finish line and then you just back out. You got to be considered that. The Lord can take the spirit from you, man. That's a fearful thing. So that's why we constantly try to do the best we can in this thing. And it's all about being sincere. Sincerity, I believe, through the spirit, that goes a long way. Being sincere. Having a sincere heart, a sincere spirit, really understanding, and believing and having faith, then your faith is going to bring your works. So if you believe, which that is a gift, faith is a gift, you're going to show those works. So no matter what you're going through, you're going to say, you know what? I know how the Heavenly Father get down and His only begotten Son. I know how to get down. I know what the scriptures say about if I preach, woe to me if I don't preach the gospel. Here I am, I'm able-bodied. I can read, I can comprehend, I can speak. I can go out there. I'm an Israelite. I can go out there and bring out this truth. Because if I don't, and I understand, and all this understanding has been given to me, the Lord gonna jack me up. And you see the horrificness, what people go through on a daily basis. Zephaniah 3:5, it says that the Lord brings His judgment every morning. He does not fail. So every time you turn on the news, somebody getting gunned down, somebody getting ate by a wild beast, catching on fire, house catching on fire, they've been burnt alive, been their heads cut off. Look at those 70 Christians that was in the Congo, got beheaded. 70 Christians got beheaded. And we know Christianity ain't shit. But nevertheless, You sitting there waiting to be beheaded. You know, that's a fearful thing, you know, when you're not even, you know, in the right, if you're not, you know, for Yahweh Shah, because we know that Apostle John the Revelator saw that there were martyrs, the ones that stood up for Yahweh Shah, they was beheaded. You know, so that's something to consider, counting the cost. I'm going to read that again. It says, for which of you attending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether we have sufficient to finish. You know, so the ups and downs in this truth, man. You know, are you going to keep going? Are you going to keep enduring? Are you going to keep your foot on the gas? You know, so with that said, I hope you was edified. I hope you got some out of this. Hope to see you on the next video.